Namaste everybody, Bruce here from rootsoflife.org, and in this week's video we're going to go in depth into a very specific topic here within the practice of Reiki by focusing on the Japanese concept of the triple diamond system. Now this is a topic that is relatively widely discussed within the practice of Usui Reiki Ryoho, but perhaps in other lineages or the Western approaches to Reiki, it might not be talked about as much. So I thought that I would bring forward a video here that really kind of unpacks the understanding of the triple diamond system so that you can perhaps incorporate it into your own practice, or at least it will help you deepen an understanding for your own practice. Now, it's quite interesting in the practice of Reiki that, like for my focus is Usui Reiki Ryoho. Okay, so that's the Japanese practice of Reiki. And why I was laughing and why I'm saying it's quite interesting is a concept within a lot of discussions of Usui Reiki Ryoho or Japanese Reiki that because Usui Sensei and the traditional practices of Reiki never really discussed the chakras, then we're not supposed to talk about them. Like they just can't possibly exist within the practice of Reiki. So we can relegate the understanding or the topic of the chakras to, modalities that are not Reiki related. And I think that's where some of the hesitation to talk about them arises. Obviously, traditionally, they are associated with Hinduism and yogic cultures and things like that. However, the triple diamond system is literally the chakras, just expressed in a different way. So if anything comes across in this video, it would be that if we are practicing traditional Reiki, traditional Japanese Reiki, to not really be so afraid of saying the word chakra. It's not going to damage or destroy your practice of Reiki. And, you have to forgive my laughing in this, but it's like I've been dealing with this question for so many years. I hear it so many times. And sometimes it comes up in the Usui Reiki Ryoho support and community group that I run on Facebook, or I see it with my students, or I hear about it in Asia, or whatever it might be. It's not going to bite you. It's just a term, and it's just a term for your nervous system. That's it, right? So don't worry about it. Don't be afraid of it. There's no reason not to say it. Like nothing is going to harm you, or it's not going to degrade your own practice of Reiki. And if it helps your understanding, when I'm in Japan and when I'm practicing, Reiki with my teacher or with Komyo Reiki Do or in Kyoto or on my retreats or whatever it might be, we talk about the chakras all the time. We talk about them in our Reiki circles. We talk about them in my global Reiki circles that I run in Asia and in the States and so on. Like it's just part of the discussion. And so with all of that, and hopefully with that kind of satisfied, what is the triple diamond system? Well, then, like I was saying, the triple diamond system is just a discussion on the chakras in a different context. So we have 3 different diamonds, right? Or 3 different energy centers in the body in this line of thought, okay? Now, what those energy centers represent is 3 different components: the universe, the heart, and the earth, okay? And so if you imagine our first 3 chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, that is the earth energy center, kind of centering around the sacral chakra, the hara, when we talk about this in traditional Japanese Reiki. And if all of that is new to you, you've never heard of any of those things before, then from a female perspective, you can think about this as kind of like the uterus. And from a male perspective, you can think about this kind of as the prostate. Now, one question that I get quite often, and I'll have to dedicate a different video to this, is what happens if any of these organs are removed? And I'm not going to go on a discussion about that here, but just suffice it to say for this video, if you've had a hysterectomy or your prostate has been removed or anything like that, you still have the energy center, right? The energy of the organs are still with us, okay? It's not changing just because a part of the body has been removed. We still have these chakras, we still have the all the meridians and all of that type of stuff. So when we're looking at the triple diamond system, we're focusing on the lower 3 chakras of the body, okay? Now, the second one, the heart, is obviously the heart. So just the center part of the body. And then the universe is the throat, the third eye, and the crown. So we have these three segments of energy in the body. Now, Reiki is a practice of movement, or surrendering rather, to the movement of the energy through the body. And so that movement needs to flow from earth through heart to the universe, and from universe through heart to the earth. The less resistance we have as that energy moves and flows, then the more of the conduit we become to the flow of Reiki. And there's a bit of a misnomer there, because the idea of becoming a conduit insinuates that you already are not the conduit to energy of the universe. And you are, because you simply are the energy of the universe. You're the energy of the universe in form. And so our natural state is flow, the movement of energy through the body, okay? And so when we look at then the flow of earth to heart to universe, or universe to heart to earth, we can start to recognize some really interesting patterns or expressions of this movement through the body. Let me give some examples of this. In the experience of what is traditionally called a Kundalini awakening, or the idea of esoteric out-of-body experience, or that rush of energy through the body, right? Every culture has a different name for it. But it's the feeling of all of that energy flowing from the body up the spine and then going out through the head. That is the functioning of the triple diamond system, right? It's the energy of the earth pooling up and radiating through the lower three chakras. And as that flow becomes more intense, or as that energy becomes more intense, and what I actually mean by that is, as you become less resistant to the flow of energy, then that energy is going to move to the heart, right? Where if you have anxiety issues, or issues that are associated to the heart, you can feel some resistance. However, if there's nothing there, then it will move up to the universe and hopefully up and out of the body. If we experience that, that's what people call that moment of satori, or enlightenment, right? This is what is described by Usui Sensei on his tombstone as the great Reiki over his head at his time of enlightenment. It's the flow of all of that energy without any resistance moving through the body, okay? And conversely, there's that flow down from the universe, right? So we have that flow as well coming all the way down into the ground. For example, when you hear the word being grounded, why is it that you need to be grounded? Because you're just too nervous, too anxious, too much thoughts, too busy in your mind. So there's all this energy up here that we need to get down to the ground, right? So we need to sink into our earth centers. We need to become stable and grounded. And as we do that, that allows the energy that is in a frenetic mind, a busy mind, to go down and through the body and drain into the ground, right? Now, as well, somebody who is lacking that kind of esoteric understanding, or religious understanding, or spirituality, or expansiveness of the mind, then there's a resistance of the flow of energy coming up the triple diamond system, right? Each one flows and nourishes the total, if that makes sense. So we can't have a flow through the body if there's resistance in any part of the whole, right? So how do we then incorporate that with our practice? How do we incorporate that, for instance, with Reiki? Well, first and foremost, when we start to do Hatsu-Ryoho and we're looking at the basic meditations in Usui Reiki Ryoho, we start to get an idea of how this works, right? When we bring our hands, notice what happens. We bring our hands to Gassho. And notice what I'm doing here. My hands are in Gassho, so my feminine and masculine energies are over the heart center, one of the three triple diamonds, right? One of the three diamonds. As I bring my hands over the heart center, I breathe through the nose and into the belly. So I'm activating the heaven and I'm breathing into the earth. And as I exhale, I'm exhaling from the earth out through the heavens, right? So we're automatically making that flow between the heaven and the earth. And how can we do that? Because our hands are in Gassho. Gassho means the union of chi, which really means I'm not recognizing a differentiation or a duality between my masculine and feminine sides, right? If my feminine and masculine sides are in balance, and in reality, what I mean is that I'm not recognizing any disbalance between the two sides, well, then what's left? The breath and the base. If I breathe up and into the base, and if I exhale the base up through the nostrils, then I'm practicing Joshin Kokyoho, the spirit and soul cleansing breath. I'm breathing through the triple diamond system. And see, by doing this, then I'm bringing the energy of the earth up to the energy of the universe, and conversely, bringing the energy of the universe down to the energy of the earth. All of those actions are working to soften the physical resistance in the body and allowing me to open up, allowing me to shed my resistance to the practice of Reiki, right? It's a reoccurring theme in my videos, and I again need to bring it up here. Reiki is not a practice of belief, right? It's not a practice of waving a wand that you're going to heal, or it has magic powers, or that it can heal this ailment or that ailment or this belief or whatever. Reiki is a practice of surrendering, right? And see, if we surrender into the understanding of the triple diamond system, then that means the energy can flow through the entirety of the body. And by flowing through the entirety of the body, guess what flows with it? Our beliefs and our attachments and our suffering. And when we let go of those things by simply turning into the flow of energy, then we heal. We can't heal if we sit down and say, I'm going to focus my Reiki on my heart so I can stop my anxiety. Well, now I'm just focusing on my anxiety, right? Why am I bringing that up? Because most teachers talk about it like that. Let's do Reiki for your anxiety, or let's do Reiki now for this thing. I'm going to offer you a Reiki session to give you financial abundance, or to do this or that. None of that makes any sense, right? As soon as we identify it, we attach to it. So instead of attaching via identification of the thing that we're trying to heal, why don't we just let go of the attachment? If we let go of the attachment and turn back into the fundamental meditations of Usui Reiki Ryoho, then where are we? What happens? The meditations are not there by chance. The precepts are not there by chance, right? Just for today, I will not worry. If that's one of the guiding precepts, then how can we say we're going to give Reiki to heal a specific ailment? By doing that, we're automatically creating worry. We're automatically justifying the ailment or the problem exists. Instead of doing that, turn into the practice. Turn into the triple diamond system, breathe through the body, and then where's the thing that you wanted to heal anyways? Hopefully, it'll be gone because it'll be washed via the movement of energy through the triple diamond system.